Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Precision Camshafts Limited Q2 FY2024 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that the conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Karan Shah, Whole-Time Director, Business Development. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank you all for being a part of this Precision Camshafts Limited Q2 FY2023-24 earnings conference call. I have with me Mrs. Arohi from Finance team who will answer finance-related questions. In case of any detailed questions for finance, please email us your questions at cs@pclindia.in and we shall provide you with the answers in a reasonable time. We have submitted the investors presentation for Q2 to the stock exchanges on Friday, 1st of December 2023, and the same is available on our website. Investors are requested to refer to the same. The automotive industry has remained vulnerable to global headwinds in 2023, including the energy crisis, slower global demand, and continued supply chain disruptions. In Western markets, vehicle sales are slowing down, whereas in Asia Pacific, car sales have managed to continue on an upward trend, although at a modest pace. The Indian automotive market has been exceptional to this trend with strong growth numbers, and the Indian automotive industry is expected to grow at a CAGR of approximately 11% until 2027. I'm happy to share that despite these challenging times that we work in, the total income of the company was 177.28 crores on a standalone basis and 259.63 crores on a consolidated basis. The parent business PCL India has grown the last year by better asset utilization of companies as well as machine shops. And we're happy to share that PCL has onboarded several new customers in India and overseas, where we can see long-term visibility of contracts for the camshaft business. Memco has seen consistent demand and has grown and delivered a total income of 11.9 crores during the previous quarter. MFT in Germany has seen stabilization of business during these difficult times. However, we still see challenges ahead due to the slowdown in Europe. MFT would start serial production of new non-engine components. Okay.
Sir, you were on Memco. You were talking about Memco.
Okay. So, yeah, Memco has seen consistent demand and we've delivered a total income of 11.91 crores during the previous quarter. MFT, which is based in Germany, has seen stabilization of business during these difficult times, but we still see challenges ahead due to the slowdown in Europe. MFT would serial production of new non-engine components in the first half of 2024. And the total income of MFT during the previous quarter was 38.82 crores. Our e-mobility subsidiary EMOS, based in the Netherlands, posted a total turnover of 31.62 crores in Q2 compared to 33.26 crores in the last quarter. This dip in revenues was mainly driven by the general slowdown in Europe, delayed decision-making by customers, and a general sense of uncertainty in the European marketplace. We are still in the process of developing several new customers and new applications of our electric powertrains in Europe, and we will inform stakeholders of the same in the coming quarters. Coming to the e-mobility developments in India, the company has developed an electric driveline of 4-ton LCVs. The company is focused on high-quality, reliable products for the Indian market while ensuring cost competitiveness with high localization. I'm happy to share that the company has started the first deliveries of the electric LCVs to customers in India, and we will continue to deliver LCVs to several customers in India, including government bodies, large fleet operators, and corporate bodies. The next few months would involve testing of these vehicles in the customer's use case. Finally, I'm happy to share that the company has started work on developing a new campus in Solapur. A groundbreaking ceremony was performed on a 25-acre site in Solapur, where PCL will build a state-of-the-art machine shop for assembled camshafts and other niche and intricate products in the coming year to cater to its marquee OEM customers. PCL will also expand its electric mobility footprint on this campus. Coming to the financial companies, starting with the standalone business of Precision Camshaft, total income for Q2 increased by 8.23% year-on-year, 177.28 crores. EBITDA margin for the quarter 2 was 18% and the PAT margin was approximately 11%. The quantity of camshafts sold in Q2 of FY23 as castings increased by 10.6% quarter-on-quarter and increased 19% year-on-year to 1.82 million. Quantity of machine camshaft decreased by 5.3% quarter-on-quarter and decreased 5.9% year-on-year to 0.74 million in this quarter. Now coming to the consolidated business performance, the total consol income for Q2 decreased by 9.5% to 250. EBITDA increased by 36% to 44 crores. Profit before tax was 10.5 crores and PAT was 8.4. The EBITDA margin was 17% at a consolidated level. PAT was 3.25%. Coming to the group company's revenues, revenue at Memco was 11.9 crores, revenue at MFT was 38.8 crores, and revenue at EMOS was 31.6 crores. With this, I would now like to open up the floor for question and answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking the question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your phone now. We have a question from the line of Vishal Gupta. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. I want to talk about can you talk a bit more about the LCV launch in India? You mentioned that the start delivery, but these are test vehicles right now. So can you talk a bit about when would you do a full-scale formal launch and what's the outlook for that business from here on?
Thank you for the question. I think, yes, we have, as I've mentioned in previous calls, we have customers across India who are in the e-commerce space, who are in the FMCG space, who are bodies, large fleet owners, third-party logistics companies, etc. And we have started the deliveries of these electrified vehicles to these customers from the last month, and we continue to do the deliveries in this month. These vehicles will, of course, go through extensive testing in the use case of these customers, which would be anywhere between 3 to 6 months. But in parallel, we are also scaling up the operations so that we are able to cater to the demand once that is confirmed and finalized. Unfortunately, I cannot give you an exact outlook in terms of what the order book looks like because it's still in the initial phases. But I think the only addressable market that I can talk about, of course, is what I have been saying in the past, that there are more than 2 million vehicles running on Indian roads today, and we are associated with some of the largest players in the space who we are able to provide a retrofit solution to. So even a very small percentage of that, if we can address and if we can get, it would be still large numbers for PCL.
Got it. Thank you. Can you also talk a bit about the price point that you have positioned these vehicles at, and have you launched both Tata Ace and Ghost or only one of the two right now?
As of now, we have only started deliveries of the Tata Ace version. We will be starting the Ghost in early 2024. At this point, it would be difficult to give you an exact price point because this is still not at serial production, and these are still, let's say, the initial vehicles that are being rolled out in the market. But at the appropriate time, in the early part of next year, I think we would be able to actually do a full launch of the vehicle with pricing along with total cost of ownership, etc. But I think needless to say, we have, because of a very high degree of localization that we have achieved in these vehicles, we are able to provide it at an extremely competitive price to the customer, so much so that the total cost of ownership of electrified vehicle would be less than the total cost of ownership of a diesel vehicle over a period of, let's say, 7 to 8 years. So that's what I can tell you today.
I understand. And as you stand today, sir, so this business, do you think the constraint is the demand from the marketplace, given, Tata also has an electric case the OEM itself is selling? Or do you think the constraint is stabilizing and getting the product and marketing right at our end? So what's your sense of the market?
It's a combination of both. Look, we are not directly competing with Tata Motors. I think that's quite clear because we are not the OEM. We don't build the entire vehicle. We are providing a retrofit solution. So I think there is a market that we are addressing, which is existing vehicle owners or existing fleet owners, where we would electrify their existing fleets, whereas I think the OEMs are targeting new customers. So I think there's a different target market in both cases. And yeah, I think on the other side, we are also being very cautious and conservative on how these products are rolled out, in terms of, the quality, the controls that we have, and the entire supply chain being properly oiled, etc. So I think it's a combination of both.
Got it. When you mentioned that the issue will be much better than the diesel vehicles over 7-8 years, and how would the issue compare with the new Tata EV that the OEM has? Let's say an existing Dost owner can always sell his Tata Ace and buy a fresh new EV from Tata versus going for our solution. How do those scenarios compare? Is it compelling for the customer?
Yes, I mean, look, because you're retrofitting your existing vehicle, you don't pay the entire cost of purchasing a new vehicle, right? So the cost of conversion minus the vehicle, minus the base vehicle, is surely lower than buying a brand new vehicle. That's for sure. So I think the choice that a customer has 5 years into using a vehicle is, should I pay X amount of rupees to convert this existing vehicle into electric, and I can basically reap the same benefits of electrification, which is the lower operating cost, lower maintenance cost, etc. Or shall I go and buy a new one, which will be more than that X rupees, which it would cost to convert?
Yeah, but I'll also be able to sell my existing vehicle in the second-hand market. So you think the sale proceeds from the second-hand vehicle after cost of conversion will be lower than the cost of the new vehicle?
That is what we are targeting to be, but I can't answer that specifically today.
Got it. And are there any other OEMs who we are competing with here, OEMs or other new age EV players competing with in this market as of now, or is it just the two main OEMs, Tata and Ashok Leyland, as of now?
Yeah, I think that's what the market looks like right now. So there are several players in the two-wheeler, three-wheeler space, passenger car space, but not many that in this LCV category.
Okay. No, thank you for the opportunity. I also mentioned EMOS. I can get back in the queue, or maybe I can ask right now. Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
On EMOS, we have always maintained a very positive outlook over the last few quarters that, there's quarterly volatility and it's hard to bottom. We have always maintained that it's a very high growth business over a 3-5 year period. And now, over the last, first week of flattening over 2-3 quarters, and last couple of quarters has been tough, where we've almost seen degrowth over the 50 crores quarterly revenue we achieved in Q4 last year. And we're almost quarters there in the 30-35 crore range. So how should one think about EMOS from here? Is there a change in how we should think about that business going forward?
I don't think so. I mean, we are still very optimistic about the business. We have certain products and certain technical capabilities that very few in the market have. We are in discussions with several customers, new applications, like I mentioned in my opening speech. But I think, look, the overall situation in Europe is not favorable right now for growth. There is certainly a recessionary environment. There is a lot of delay in decision making from customers in spending that kind of money. You know well that electrified vehicles cost significantly more than their diesel counterparts or their gasoline counterparts. So of course there is hesitancy and general state of uncertainty. I mean, you know, you have the Ukraine war on one side, you have this Israel crisis happening on the other side. There is inflation. There's a whole slowdown, and this is the reason why we have seen some level of reduction in the top line in the last 2 quarters. But I mean, it's hard to say when we get out of this. But of course, we see a much more positive outlook of the company. We see that.
You were saying that in general it's hard to predict where you get out of this because of general uncertainty in Europe. You see a much more positive outlook, and you were saying something called this.
Yeah. I said, look, I think as a company, as the technologies that we have, the customers that we deal with, I don't think the situation is not that we have lost business or there is a competitor coming in or something like that. I think the issue is that overall market in Europe, and you know, we see this on EMOS's performance. Every single car OEM in Europe has grown in the last 2 quarters or even in the last 1 year. So I think it's a wait and watch kind of situation on how we get out of this situation.
Understand. And is there any early signs that you think that this change in the next few quarters, or you think that it will take a few years depending on how the general market evolves?
I mean, we don't see any immediate changes. Look, the good thing is that our OEM customers stay connected with us. They continue to grow the business. I think at the end of the day, we are not the only customer, or we are not supplying a product to the customer. We are in direct demand of our customers themselves. So we work very closely with them to see how and when we can get out of this situation, which is not suitable for them or for us. Yeah, I think we can't say anything right now.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your phone now. Participants who wish to ask a question may please press star and 1 now. We have a question from the line of Vishal Gupta from Neo Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks again for the opportunity. The last few Concall, you had also mentioned, Karan, that you may consider going down the path of becoming an OEM in India. I wanted to check how is progress on that front. Any sense on timelines on what steps internally to roll out Precision or EMOS branded vehicles in India?
Yeah, so work continues on that front. But as I've mentioned in the previous calls, it's a 2 or 3 year journey that we have embarked on, and I think it's not be as immediate as developing our systems along with the whole different volume and it's not difficult. But yes, we are on it.
Got it. And a lot of startups in the EV space have broadly raised a lot of capital from venture funds and other sources of capital. Any plans for us to raise capital either in the India business or the India EV expansion or for the EMOS business?
Not important on as of today.
And do you think the business is capital intensive? It would need capital for us to be able to achieve our milestones, or do you think the business is not really that capital intensive? You don't really need that much capital.
I
mean, it's two different businesses. The EMOS is where we are a powertrain supplier still in the Netherlands or in Europe and then, or in India where we are a powertrain supplier where we convert vehicles, we work with customers to convert vehicles. And that is not a very capital intensive business, except you have a lot of working capital for it, of course. But the OEM track that we talk about is a whole different volume. Like I said, it is capital intensive. We require to develop vehicles ground up. Them for safety, functionality, performance, and able to market, which is a long process and a capital intensive one.
In terms of order of magnitude, how much capital would that need?
I mean, we're too early in the stage to answer that right now.
Got it. And on the EMOS side, you said that there is a general slowdown in Europe, but in terms of applications, one would imagine that the share of electric vehicles would be increasing at a very fast rate, and even a general slowdown in the overall OEM sales should not impact electric vehicles as such. So is it that a lot of OEMs have moved to in-house production where they're not relying on partners like us for their guidelines? Or is it that there is a slowdown in EVs as well? And
yes, there is a general slowdown, Vishal. So I don't think it is attributed to. Yes, I was saying that the electric vehicle offerings across the board are more expensive than IC ones. So there is a general reluctance to make decisions to invest in these vehicles at this point of time because of the uncertainty involved. And it's like I said before, none of our customers, none of our partners have moved away from EMOS. It's just a bit of time, I think, it's on how we get back those volumes and to those numbers.
I understand. One last question about EMOS, because you said the electric vehicle offerings are expensive across the board for the application. How much more expensive would they be broadly today on a total cost of ownership basis? And what would be the penetration?
Total cost of ownership on the upfront cost of acquiring an electric vehicle versus a traditional one.
And the TCO is comparative what the upfront cost is.
Yeah.
Got it. And in terms of penetration for the kind of categories which we serve, which are very niche applications, what sort of EV penetration would we be at today?
It's very, very low. So we are one of the first ones in these kind of applications, which is, garbage trucks, road sweepers, heavy equipment, export buses, things like that. So the penetration is very low, I would say.
And in EMOS, what would be our main countries and how much revenue contribution would be coming from which countries in Europe?
I don't have that information offhand. If you can email us, we'll get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Vijay Bhatia, individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I just have some questions. What is your take on the response of your new EV offerings in India? Does it meet your expectations or what is it?
Vijay, I think we have just started the deliveries of the vehicles last few weeks, so it's very early to say. But look, I think we're doing something in this market which not a lot of companies have done. So it will be a journey that we take with us. I think we're very thankful to the first 10 or 15 customers who have been that first week of faith with PCA and EMOS to kind of accept this product. And we have to test this in real world scenarios. We have done our level of extensive testing, which needs to be tested in the real world because customer application systems. And this is something that we are doing today. So I think so far so good, but it's just too early to say.
Okay. Any plans to extend it to all this tempo traveler type vehicles and all that? Because I feel that you will have more visibility and the system and those types of.
No, our objective right now is to focus only on cargo and fees which are less than tons of GVW.
Okay. And any plans to expand into US? I mean, why are you Europe-centric only? I mean, there is a lot of scope in US also. I mean, they have a lot of focus and this one on conversion of existing ICE to EVs and getting a lot of incentives. Any take on that?
Yeah, we are looking at the US market. I think we have our hands full with India and with Europe. A lot of demand there. Unfortunately, the situation as it stands today is difficult, of course, but we can't ignore that Europe is where most of the technology has been innovated, has started. A lot of the early adopters of the technology happens in Europe. I think India we see as a very large market in terms of sales, in terms of revenue also. And so we want to focus where we have this knowledge, we have most hands on the ground, etc. But yes, we are looking at the US market right now, but I can't tell you what that means in terms of the business or anything.
Oh, okay. And goes without saying, looking at your new plant, Bhumi Picture, what it done for your camshaft, the demand for camshafts you feel will sustain going forward?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press star and 1 on your phone now. We have a question from the line of Bhavesh Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity. So I have a question. So first is that where is the camshaft business planning for the growth for the next 3 years?
Sorry?
What is the plan for the next 3 years? Where is the camshaft business going to grow?
No, I think we see very good visibility for the camshaft business. We have long-term contracts with most of our domestic as well as international customers, and we actually see, you've seen over the past 2 years also, we've grown the camshaft business in terms of castings as well as the machine camshaft. We continue to see that trajectory. I cannot give you a forward-looking number in terms of what we expect to be, but we are setting up a machining plant. We have been awarded assembled camshaft business from OEM customers. We actually see growth in this camshaft business in the coming years.
Okay. And the next question is, what are the steps you have taken to increase margins in the camshaft business?
I think one of the bigger actions that we have taken is to set up this large solar power plant. In the casting business, a considerable amount of our costs are energy, and by setting up this 15 megawatt solar plant, I think we have reduced the cost of power considerably. I think other efforts on the material side as well as machining equipment side are ongoing, but I think the power cost was a large factor, and that has been more or less reduced by, I would say, 35% by this solar plant. Rohit ma'am, if you want to add any other things, please do so.
Yes, sir. We start the solar. We have saved approximate 1 crore rupees from July per month.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Karan Shah, who is the Director of Business Development, for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I hope we've been able to answer most of your queries today. Thank you again for your participation in this conference call, and we look forward to meeting you again in the next quarter's earnings call. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the conference for today. You can disconnect your lines.